Let's talk now to Gaurav Sharma, energy analyst from Oilholics, Synonymous. Good to see you back on the programme. So, given these high oil prices we've been seeing, why the need for these large-scale job cuts?
Good to be back on the program, Robin. I think the problem is largely of BP's own making. Let's go back to sort of middle part of 2020 when the world started recovering, and so did oil companies from the ravages of COVID. Now, between 2020 and 2023, according to my research, Chevron's price went up by 50%, ExxonMobil's by 85%, Shell by 26%, BP by a very paltry 7%. Why? Because the CEO at the time, Bernard Looney, decided to reimagine BP. Those were his words, not mine. And what sort of reimagination was that? Instead of sort of focusing on the fragile recovery that the commodities market was seeing, they started going for overpaying for renewables plays. Those problems have now come into the in tray of his successor, hence the job cuts.
Well, let's talk about that reimagination of BP. As you say, the former CEO wanting to focus more on green projects. Do you think the new CEO will stick with that plan?
I don't think so. I think what he's doing is pretty much what also Shell is also doing, sort of going back to basics, going back to sort of their core offering of oil and natural gas. I don't think he will, but at the same time, he will stick with some of the renewables ventures that they've done. That said, BP last year truncated a lot of its wares. It sold off its U.S. offshore renewables business. It tried to reimagine how he's going to approach retail points, few retail points. All of that is happening, and now this is the next phase, the next draconian phase of almost 8,000 job cuts, 4,700 staff, another 3,000 contractors, nearly 5% of its global workforce.
So it's got this cost reduction target, hasn't it, BP, of $2 billion by the end of 2026. How's it going to achieve that? It must be more than job cuts, surely.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's got to be efficiency savings elsewhere. I think what the markets are watching out for is that I think of 1/4 of that 2 billion figure, it has to be achieved by the end of this year. And I think you will see reductions, cost reductions elsewhere, certain asset sales. But yes, I think job cuts alone won't do the trick.
Gaurav, great to talk to you. Thanks again for coming on the programme. That's Gaurav Sharma, the energy analyst from Oilholics, Synonymous.